everybody. Welcome to 15 year-end tips in 15 minutes. I'm gonna try to get us through this as quickly as possible and stay on track. My name is Alisha Rocks, and I am the Tax Product Manager here at Greenshades. So let's go ahead and get started with some tips for you. We're going to do a quick intro to Greenshades. We are a tax and compliance expert at our core, and recently we created our own payroll and HR product so that we can offer a cloud-based all-in-one solution to mid-sized businesses. We've been here operating for over 20 years, so this is not our first year end. Before we start, these tips, just so that you know, are in no particular order. They may be applicable to all companies or some companies in particular situations. As always, this webinar is not intended to be legal advice. You should always consult your legal counsel or our HR counsel if you need a partner to partner with on your questions. That's who Greenshades partners with, and we'd be happy to get you in touch. All right. Tip number 1, always reconcile your W-2s with your 941s before filing. Your quarterly 941s and W-2s should match at the end of the year. Should you find that there is a discrepancy, we want to make sure that you're going back and filing those 941Xs for any changes that might have occurred throughout the year so that your W-2s do reconcile. You should double check wages paid under FFCRA and review any voided checks and manual transactions that you might have made throughout the year. Those are big ways that you can be on the lookout to save yourself some editing during busy time. Tip number 2 is prevent penalties for no match information returns. We do offer a service through Greenshades here to verify your SSNs and TINs in preparation for year end. That is a part of our year end forms product, and you can use that tool when you walk through the process at year end. Make sure that you do have copies of W-4s and W-9s at all times for your employees and vendors. That will also show your due diligence should you ever get audited. Tip number 3, review benefits to calculate and adjust for any imputed income. This is an important area to keep in mind and something that does get easily forgotten. Depending on your industry and the benefits you offer to your employees, this also may not apply to every employer, but calculating imputed income for life insurance coverage over $50,000 can be tricky sometimes. So it's just important to research and understand the requirements. Greenshades benefit software does handle this calculation, which can be a huge time saver. Tip number 4, check the wage base. This can change from year to year. The 2022 Social Security wage base is $147,000. Employee Social Security withholding should not exceed $9,114. And Social Security wage base for the new year has also already come out. It's going to be bumping up to $160,200. So just be on the lookout for those change in numbers and make sure that you're updating your payroll system should you need to do that. Tip number 5, use the right 1099. That's definitely important. There are a lot of different types of 1099s out there. There's 1099 MISC, which stands for miscellaneous income, a 1099 NEC, which is non-employee compensation. And so those two forms actually used to be combined onto one, and a couple years ago they split them back out into their own individual form. Some people may not yet be aware of that, but just to let you know, 1099 NECs are often used for independent contractors or gig workers, for non-W-2 employees. So just keep that in mind that maybe this year that might be the form that you provide to some of your vendors, and make sure that you are providing the right one. Tip number 6, don't forget to properly complete W-9s. If you're unable to get a correct TIN or EIN, make sure to start backup withholding. The rate for that going up for 2022 is 24%. So if you need to do backup withholding on a contractor, a Form 9045 is where you can report this type of information until you get a proper W-9 from your vendors. Tip number 6. Oop, hold on, I've gone too far. Tip number 7, review administrators and Greenshades Online for year-end forms portal. to ensure that current employees have access to the forms and data that they're going to need. In case you had any turnover from last year end, we want to make sure that everybody has access going into January so that no one's in a panic when January comes and they're trying to get access during that busy time. Quick audit of 401k contributions also is a good thing to double check, especially if you have employees that are engaging in any type of catch-up contributions. That could be something else that you might not take into account when the W-2s come around. Tip number 8, use electronic consent to help streamline year-end. Educating your employees on the ability to receive their W-2s or 1095 ACA forms electronically is great because your employees can get this information a lot faster than waiting on snail mail to come to their mailbox. And also, sometimes these people are trying to get their taxes filed online quickly to receive their refund. This helps expedite that for them, and then you're not getting a bunch of phone calls asking, where is my form? Tip number 9, take advantage of our concierge support. Greenshades products include unlimited customer support. We do hire additional people for the busy time of January. We spend a lot of our year-end prep training them so that they're available to assist you during this busy time. We also have some enhanced additional support options such as chat if you haven't been able to check that out yet. So be on the lookout for different ways to reach out to support in a way that's convenient for you during January. Tip number 10, streamline year-end by outsourcing your forms production. Use Greenshades. We create the year-end forms that you need to produce for your employees and vendors, and we can get those mailed out for you in a cost-efficient way without putting your staff at risk or risking missing any deadlines or receiving a penalty. Tip number 11, it is so important to archive. If you ever get an audit and we no longer have your information available to you, archiving could have saved a lot of headache in reproducing forms. So archiving is important. That is a service that we offer here at Greenshades. We give you the option to archive 7 years of enrollment information, payroll process through our system, and other tax information. So make sure that you are utilizing those archiving options. If you have any questions about it, reach out to our sales team and they'll be happy to explain the different options to you. Tip number 12, paper shortage is looming. So if you print your own forms, be aware that it may be hard to get paper. There is definitely an increased demand, and as shipping delays for FedEx and UPS continue, it is definitely beneficial to be able to provide your employees with an electronic form in addition to their paper form, even if they still would like it. That way they have a secondary way of being able to get a copy of those forms in a timely manner. Tip number 13, remind your employees to update their personal info in Q4. We don't want January to come and all these forms get mailed out to the wrong address, and so everybody's hitting you up asking for a secondary form, and now you've increased your mailing costs because now you've got to reprint everything. So make sure that you're getting some reminders out to your employees ahead of time, mailing address updates, personal contact info updates. Also probably a great time to have your employees just be in the habit of updating emergency contacts or dependents. That may come into play when they get ready for open enrollment and beneficiaries as well. So keep that in mind. Tip number 14, use employee info through Greenshades at no additional cost to streamline employment and income verification. This is a service available to Greenshades online users. Using the service can automate these verifications and save your team time and money. Tip 15, get started early. Avoid stress by getting started early. Work with Greenshades to help complete your files and forms distribution. The sooner you get started, the better, and also more money it will save you. Our print and mail does get more pricey the closer to the end of January it becomes. And if you creep into February, the prices increase quite a bit, so be sure to jump on that. And that wraps up our 15 tips.
And thank you so much for being here, and I hope you guys have a very wonderful, wonderful day. Take care.